Hey guys, Shamar Brown here. Welcome to the Eagle Podcast Night Talks Season 6, episode number 46. Now, guys, the title of tonight's episode, I'm sure you guys saw it, but I'll mention it. The Power of Mentorship. Now, tonight I have a special guest who's coming on, who's going to be sharing some gems and some wisdom. You get what I'm saying? I met this young man a while back, right, at a church service. And I met him again where he was giving a speech, right? They gave him a topic to speak about, and I loved the way he talked. And then later on, I found out, and I guess just to give you a quick background about him, his name is Joseph, right? Dr. Joseph. I don't want to mess up his last name, so I won't even. I let him pronounce his last name. I don't want to mess it up, right? So Joseph, he has a PhD in chemical from chemistry from the University of Connecticut, right? But when I saw that once when I hear him spoke, I was like, yo, this guy, I know he's a doctor, but there is something else. So I come to find out that he has a partnership with John Maxwell. And if you guys don't know John Maxwell, please go check out John Maxwell. When you say leadership, let me say his name properly. John C. Maxwell, because I know he loves to put the C in his name. So John C. Maxwell, right? He's a big guy when it comes on to leadership. So when I heard Joseph speak, I'm like, yo, I know he's a doctor, but there's something else. So when I pull him to the side, he told me, I'm like, okay, that's what it is. So I'm like, yo, I need to have you as a guest to come and share, because again, he's a certified coach with John Maxwell. But again, I'll have him share everything. I'll have him dissect that. But anyways, here's my brother, Joseph.
Thank you, Shamal, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here. My name is Dr. Joseph Adewuyi. I am originally from Nigeria, but currently I'm living in Connecticut in the United States. I am a scientist by profession, an organic chemist who's in the lab synthesizing molecules, making drug products and all of that. So that's my career, profession, and my source of income. But my passion is to provide mentorship and leadership training for young people. So I actually have a mentorship platform where I meet with my mentees on a regular basis, just teaching them, guiding them, making them become the best versions of themselves. In line with that, I am certified with John Maxwell as a certified public speaker and coach. And today, Shamal has asked me to speak on the power of mentorship. So I'm going to be talking on the power of mentorship. When we talk about mentorship, a lot of people think it's just mere advice, but mentorship goes beyond mere advice from someone who is experienced. Mentorship provides structured guidance, methodical teachings, encouragement, constructive feedback, and personalized training for the person who is being mentored. So you have someone who is experienced in a field, and then they're using their experience to provide structured guidance, encouragement, constructive feedback, methodical teachings, and personalized training for a person who is being mentored. So say someone who's just starting out in career or starting out in their life, and then they are seeking the services of a mentor. This is what the mentor provides. Mentorship in that light then helps to facilitate your growth faster. So what mentorship does is that it provides leverage and speed, right? So you're riding upon the experience and the shoulders of your mentors to grow faster in life. You don't have to be doing a lot of trial and error, going around in circles, trying to figure out things by yourself. Instead, you're leveraging on the experiences of the mentors. They've already gone through those rough parts of life, and you're just riding upon the things that they know. There's a saying that experience is the best teacher. But I always say it doesn't have to be your experience. The experience of your mentors can be learned from. You can learn from other people's experiences, and that's what mentorship provides. So you're starting out in a particular career, you're starting out in a particular business venture, there's definitely someone who has gone through those same paths. There's someone who is excelling well in that field that you're just starting out in. Instead of you just starting out and having a lot of uncertainties and confusions, having a lot of trial and errors, making mistakes, rising and falling and rising again, what you can do is to get someone who's experienced in that field. Now, they provide leverage for you. They provide speed for you in the sense that you don't have to make all those mistakes. They can show you the places where there are pitfalls. They can show you the places or the mistakes to avoid, right? So based on that, you're gaining leverage and speed. You don't have to try things on your own and fail to learn from them. So that's what mentorship, that's one of the things rather that mentorship provides, right? It's like you're starting out in life, there's you can't see far, but when you get a mentor who's experienced and has gone ahead of you, it's like you standing upon their shoulders, and then you can see farther than you just standing on your 2 feet, right? So mentorship, the first thing I'm going to say is mentorship provides leverage that you can take advantage of, and then mentorship also provides speed, right? So you are going to just move fast because you're not making the mistakes that others make on their journey to success. You have someone who has already made that mistake and has shown you the things to avoid. Also, mentorship helps to calibrate your knowledge and mindset about life. A lot of us are born into defeatist societies. A lot of us are born into dysfunctional societies and communities. And so all of that experience growing up with dysfunction and limitations do not help us to see life from a superior point of view. So what a mentor does is to help calibrate your mindset about life, gives you the right perspective about life, right? So you have come through life, all your experience maybe has been experiences of limitations, experiences of defeat. You have been beaten all through your life by the challenges of life. When you come across a mentor, they help you see beyond the limitations of your environment. They help you see what you can become beyond what has happened to you. Because like what the things that happen to us help us create a lead, help us create a cage in our mind. We can't see far. But then a mentor who has gone ahead of you, has achieved all this great success, they paint a new picture of life to you. They paint a new picture of possibilities that your experiences would not make you to see. So that's why it's always good to seek mentorship. They help calibrate, they help calibrate your mindset about life. They help give you superior knowledge that will make you stand out in the crowd, right? There's this saying that what you know or what you don't know is responsible for your current state in life. If you've lived through experiences of defeat and failure, you don't know that there is the possibility of success, for example. And because you don't know that, it continues to create a limit to what you can be in life. But then a mentor comes in, they've achieved this success, they know it is possible. And so they begin to then teach you, show you the way, help you come out of your defeatist mindset to developing a mindset about success. They help you see possibilities. They help you see above the limitations that life has put you through. Another thing that mentorship provides is accountability partner. They can serve as someone that would hold you responsible and accountable until you fulfill your goals in life. You know, mentors can serve like a coach. They push you when you don't feel like it. It's just like an athlete who's training and has a coach. By experience, the coach knows what is possible. Also, by experience and observation, the coach knows the possibilities that are in that athlete, even if they don't see it. The coach knows, for example, there's the possibility of an athlete to run, say, a 100-meter sprint in less than 10 seconds. So this athlete is pushing themselves and they're running 100 meter in 12 seconds, 13 seconds. Because the coach knows what's possible, that below 10 seconds is possible, they then begin to push you. When you don't feel like it, they push you to train. When you feel lazy and tired, your mentor tells you, no, get up and start working. So a mentor is like an accountability partner. They challenge and encourage you to be the best version of yourself. That's why if you really want to go far in life, you need a mentor. There's just so many possibilities and opportunities that a mentor provides. They see your potentials even when you don't see it. They help you see possibilities that you have not considered, and they challenge and encourage you to keep pushing yourself until you become the best version of yourself. Also, if you have a mentor, you can leverage on their network and influence. So imagine, let's use a common example. Let's say Elon Musk, for example, is a mentor to someone. Now, a young businessman just starting out in business and then reaching out to Elon Musk for mentorship. Besides the personalized training and the push and the guidance and the constructive feedback that Elon Musk would provide, Elon Musk would also expose them to his network, the people around him, right? So this young businessman who is seeking mentorship from Elon Musk is not just getting guidance and training, is also getting to network with the same people that Elon Musk goes out with. Is getting to have access to Elon Musk's sphere of influence and network, and that's just going to lead to a exponential growth for this young businessman. So mentors provide access to their network, access to their influence. There's this saying that you're 5 people away from anybody you want to meet in the world. So if, say, I want to meet President Trump, I am 5 persons away from him. I just need to know someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows President Trump. And that's what mentorship provides, because mentors are usually experienced people, they are highly successful people, they have access to great people, and you being a mentee of that person gives you access and leverage to their network and to their influence. The last point I'm going to say is, if you want to build anything sustainable, if you want to build anything of transgenerational impact, you definitely need mentors. Mentorship is the way that anything sustainable is built. Let me give a scriptural reference for that. I'm a Christian, so I'm going to give a scriptural reference for that. In 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2, Paul was speaking to Timothy and he said, "And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also." So Apostle Paul here is saying, the things that you, Timothy, has learned from me, teach committed people. And these committed people will teach others also. And those ones will teach others also. And so you just have this chain of continuity in knowledge and information. And that's why it seems like, if you look at amongst the richest people in the world, or like the most influential people in the world, it's limited to a certain number of families, because it's like someone knows something, they mentor their children mentor others. So you can just see that continuation in the passage of knowledge. So if you want to build something sustainable, if you want to build something that's transgenerational, beyond you, something that would succeed beyond you, because that's also one thing we need to learn. We need to begin to see success and impact beyond ourselves. We need to begin to see wealth beyond ourselves. It has to be transgenerational. So if you want to build something transgenerational, if you want to build a firm, a business, an empire that will transcend you, you need to seek mentors. And then when the mentors teach you and develop you, you also then need to mentor others. And those ones then also need to mentor the generation coming after them. And you just create this network of highly successful people. So if you want to build anything sustainable that's transgenerational, it has to go through a chain of continuous mentorship. All of that being said, I've listed some of the advantages of mentorship. I just want to talk about the two types of mentorship, right? So there's the direct mentorship, which is mostly what I've been talking about, where you submit to an individual for training and guidance. That individual guides you, trains you, tailors their training to your personal needs. So I have a lot of mentees, but I don't use general training for all of them, right? Depending on the needs of my mentees, I have personalized trainings tailored to their needs. So that's direct mentorship. But there's also indirect mentorship where you're being mentored by someone indirectly. And this is where books and teachings come into play. So, for example, say I am a mentee of John Maxwell. So, John Maxwell is my mentor. I don't have a direct relationship necessarily with John Maxwell, but through the leadership and the certification programs, I had teachings, recorded teachings of John Maxwell. I read so many books of John Maxwell. I had other tapes from John Maxwell. So indirect mentorship can also be through the books and the teachings of a mentor, right? So because sometimes you just cannot have access, direct access to some people, but you still want them to mentor you. You still want to leverage on their success and experience. Then you can have an indirect mentorship relationship where you're reading their books, because when people write books, for example, they are writing what they know. So when you read people's books, you are exposed to their mindsets and ideologies. So you may not have direct access to them, but when you read their books, when you listen to their teachings, you are also learning from them. They are indirectly mentoring you. So the fact that you want to be mentored by someone and you don't have direct access to them should not discourage you from still pursuing an indirect mentorship. Get their books and just read and study their books, get their teachings, and learn from them indirectly. So if you're starting out in life, if you're starting a business, you're starting a career, look for someone who's in your field, who's already advanced, and submit to them for mentorship. Having said all of these wonderful things of mentorship, I must put a caution to this, that as much as I advocate for mentorship, I am a mentor myself. I have a lot of mentees. As much as I advocate for mentorship, I also want to say don't try to be your mentor. Like, don't live in the shadow of your mentors. I've seen mentorship situations where the person being mentored then begins to talk, dress, speak, just shadowing more or less the mentor. I don't think that's the right thing to do. Learn from your mentor, but remain unique. Submit to learning, but remain unique. You are a star in your own right. Don't kill your creativity. Don't kill your uniqueness, right? You don't. If I'm your mentor, you don't have to then begin to talk like me, dress like me. No, just learn the principles that made me great and apply them to your life in your own unique and creative way. All right. So I believe you must have learned a thing or two from today's teaching. It was nice to be here. Thank you all for listening. Like I said, I have a mentorship platform for young people. So if you're young and you're looking for mentorship, you're starting out in career, you're confused, I have a mentorship platform. You can reach out to me at Joseph Adewuyi 5 on Instagram. I'm sure Shama will share that. And then, we can find a personalized training for you. But it was nice to be here. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for having me. And thank you, Shamal, for the invitation. God bless you all. Bye.
Woo! Oh my word, Joseph, that was so good, man. That was so good. Now, there was a lot to unpack. I know it was like, Joseph, you probably spoke for like 17 minutes, but still, he said a lot in that time slot. And I would highly recommend that you guys re-listen to what Joseph said. Please re-listen to this episode, replay it repeatedly, because I don't even know where to start, because this is up my alley. Mentorship is up my alley. You get what I'm saying? Coaching is up my alley. All of this stuff that Joseph covered is up my alley. But I just want to just cover just a few things, because again, that was a mic drop. So I just want to just cover a few things. Just highlight a few things that Joseph said. So one of the first things that stood out to me is that Joseph said is that, and I guess you could say it was the last thing, but it was the first thing, where he's like, hey, if you want to learn something, learn from somebody who's already successful in it. Learn from somebody who's already successful in it. Again, learn from somebody who's already successful in it. First thing. The second thing is that and again, I guess it's the last thing, but the second thing for me, he said that if I'm trying to remember exactly how Joseph had put it, but he was saying that be yourself. The goal is to be the best version of yourself. It's not to be your mentor. You get what I'm saying? It's just to be the best you, because when you try to be your mentor instead of being the best you're kind of like what Joseph said. You're kind of like giving up your thing. But no, get the principles, get the mindset, get the all that good stuff. Because let's say, for instance, that your mentor is an extrovert and you're an introvert. It might be a little bit hard for you to be able to, duplicate that. Or let's say if it's the opposite. Your mentor is an extrovert, like myself, and then you're an introvert. It's going to be hard for you to pull off. So be the best you. You get what I'm saying? And one last thing, because again, Joseph said everything already. Just one last thing. Joseph said that you don't have to have direct mentorship. No, again, if you could, amazing. Amazing. However, though, you could read books. So say, for instance, I love John Maxwell. So that's why I'm like, yo, Joseph, you're in John Maxwell program? I love John Maxwell. John Maxwell is one of my mentors. Now, again, I don't get direct mentorship from John Maxwell, but I read a bunch of his books and I like how the man speak. I like how the man teach. You get what I'm saying? And I've read a bunch of other books. What's his name? Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is one of my mentors as well, too. Again, he died, right? He's been dead for a while now, but I read his books. All that good stuff. One of my mentors. You get what I'm saying? So again, I'm put a stamp and approval on that. That Joseph, like you hit the nail on the head, Joseph, when you said that yeah, you don't have to. No, if you have direct access to them, utilize it. But if not, you could read books. You could listen to recordings, all that good stuff. But again, I'm gonna go. You get what I'm saying? Because again, Joseph, he killed it, he crushed it, he devoured it. Right? So again, guys, re-listen to this episode. And try to like break down everything that Joseph said piece by piece, because again, there was a lot he said, and literally you could take this information and transform your life literally before the year ends. You could start that life transformation, you get what I'm saying, plan before the year ends by just using what Joseph said. All right, guys. No, anyways, guys, Eagle Podcast, if this episode added any value to you, which I know it did, leave a comment, guys. Leave a comment. We need to see those comments, guys, because I know you guys are just listening to it. Just leave a comment, whatever it is. That's whatever it is. A thumbs up. Leave something, because again, those are the kind of things that motivate us to keep going. Leave a comment. Send it to a friend. Guys. Because if you don't need a mentor, but you know somebody that does need a mentor, send this to them. Send this episode to them. If you don't need a mentor, but you know your friend needs a mentor, send it to them. All right? And again, guys, Eagle Podcast, our goal is to be able to impact 1,000 people's life. Now, I know that the year is ending, right? But that's still our goal. Our goal is to impact 1,000 people's life. And again, we can't do without you guys. So again, like, share, leave a comment. Shamar Brown here, signing off. Good night, guys.